Anyway, I'm getting carried away. Let's move on to more complex shapes. So from here, I want to tackle this area. Now, if you make a line right here, and then just a little nice little roof, it's like a cheese wedge extended out. You have the Browridge, right? Let's change the brush. And from there, let's take a look at the 3D. There's a kind of angle that goes inward. So over here, it's going to sketch that Browridge thing and then do a nice little angle in there. Unfortunately, from this angle, this top-down 3/4, we're not seeing that shape, but we'll clarify that when we study the other angles. All right. So from here, we could do a another sort of magnet shape. Now, if you look at this for the nasal cavity and you extend it outward, you can simplify that down to pretty much the same shape that we use for the jaw. Let's look at that in 3D. Right? Obviously, it's more complex than just the magnet shape because, you know, there's different shapes and sizes depending on the person. But for this, we'll see what we can do. Now, I noticed that the egg shape here is too high because if you look over there, this goes right into the halfway point of the lower jaw. So I'm just going to extend that up a bit. Cool. So from here, we're going to just take that horseshoe. The perspective doesn't have to be super perfect, just enough to indicate lighting. And notice it starts to already feel like it's going to take form. And we can go ahead and render that stuff. Based on the information here. So on this side of this shape, it's dark, and we're going to fill that in here. And for the brow ridge, we're just going to put that little highlight here. And then fill that in with one value. And then we can merge it with the highlight on the forehead there. And then for the eye sockets, I'm just going to put just black cavities for now. And that will give us the location of where we want that cheekbone. But from here, I'm just going to blend this in for the nose. And it's starting to take shape. And just for a review, we have the egg shape, the magnet shape, the brow ridge, and then the other magnet shape for the nose. And again, I made the egg shape too small. Right. And then we put in the eye sockets. But the most important part here, I would say, is learning the cheekbones. So one way you could do it is kind of just imagine it like it's a rectangle but slanted forward across the whole skull. And then, you know, it has like this shape here. And then if you put that into perspective, it kind of gives us this nice little corner there, right? It's got these corners. Let's take a look at it in 3D. All right. So it's got the slant and it goes all the way across. And again, that is a very simplified way of doing it. It'll take a lot of time and practice to get the actual form down. But if we just render this side, it has shadow, and then extend it upward like this, and let that kind of catch a little bit of light here, A little bit of light there. And it goes that way. So this side's in shadow. And this side is receiving some light. And notice I'm keeping it as a cube for now. I'll blend it in to be more organic like the reference there in a moment. But right now it's important to just get the basics laid in. Don't want pink. All right. So that's a starting point, but when we look over here, obviously it's not this pointy weird thing going on. So what I'm going to do is start blending it in based on this. Notice that I'm going to be using an airbrush here to get that soft transition on these corners. And I'm pressing pretty lightly with the airbrush. And if we go over here, actually let's bring that highlight in a little bit more. And I am ping-ponging my eyes back and forth at the reference, just to kind of steal information of like that highlight being there. And then I also noticed that it curves this way, so it's like cutting into that shape. Go ahead and merge all that down. And then notice the silhouette here between the brow ridge and the side of the cheekbone and the bottom part of the cheekbone. So we're going to sort of just sneak in that curve there. Like that. And then we're going to kind of massage this into the shape that it's supposed to be. So it's not a pointy corner, so we're just going to erase that. And let it be the shape that it's supposed to be. Now, drew it at a slightly different angle, so it's sticking out a little bit further. That's fine. We can cut that down a little bit. Okay. It is really important to break down these shapes as we're doing right now, but the thing that will really drive this stuff home is if you really take the time and practice and study from reference over and over again, and everything will start clicking. You'll notice certain subtleties that you didn't see before, and that's how you find your way to mastering something. But it really helps to start with simple shapes.